What you're going to see today, though, is in this DVD is basically the entire interview. And of course, we go back to the old rollerbowl days. Don Vignettes here.
Oh, Lord.
Where's Don?
Don McNair.
There he is. And Jerry Frank. Jerry's got his orange shirt on. He's sitting up there. So.
All right, Jerry.
No, the rollerball gang. Blinky, where are you? Blinky, let's see. Blinky goes nowhere without Al Brad. Of course, we saw a lot of pictures in there. That 27L. Where's Sammy? And that other guy at Ron Blackman fellow. Right?
Yeah, Ron Blackman.
You're probably seeing some recent, you've followed some of the YouTubes and so forth. Hey, Austin, you better stand up and wave. You're becoming pretty much Austin, Maine.
He was a class of the field at that time. Yeah.
Why was he so good, Tom?
He cheated a little.
Now you had another chance to see Tom Dill talk about you, and he's suggesting you cheated. Why would he say that?
It could be true. But he's got a good sense of humor too. Could be either one. Don Bailey told me he was there, but I don't believe he came in, or he left right away on account of the crowd. He said we had raced at lots of tracks, but there wasn't that many people in the grandstand. And that's one of the best remarks.
Squirt was he was quite a lot of many years ahead of us when it comes to driving them race cars.
I just wondered if he ever went to anger management school.
I think I was there with you, wasn't I?
He brought that.
He had a nose for the lead.
Squirt, did you do it for the fun or for the money?
Oh, I really think in the beginning, everybody was a flathead Ford man. A lot of people I was associated were Ford men. And I like Fords all right, but I always thought other engines run all right too, And I believe a lot of it was to prove that something else would run. And that got me started. And then when the small block Chevy come along, I was one of the, not the first one by any means, but boy, when I got one of them, I knew they really run good for all the bigger they were. And it became the flathead Ford of the later years. And it really, the racing engines went from a flathead Ford to small block Chevys, and they still run small block Chevys as one of the, about all engines. Now the Fords and them are there now, but the small block Chevy has lasted for years. It's a basic engine for everybody's racer. But yeah, I think I like the challenge of it though. But I never knew I was a good driver. I always thought I was a pretty good mechanic. My career was about over before I realized maybe I had some driving skill too. I really thought for years that I'd give anybody out of the stands my car, he could win a race as good as I could.
There's Squirt Johns, another one that couldn't drive a wheelbarrow. Won every race.
Nobody scared me as much as Tom did. That fellow that said I couldn't drive a wheelbarrow in there though, he scared me almost as much as Tom did.
Fear, sir?
Yeah. I remember I don't know, Olean or someplace, he passed me down the straightaway one time. I mean, he really went by me. But he was going so fast he couldn't even make the turn. So I passed him the next turn, but everybody passed him the next turn. But he was quite a guy, that Fiersdorf. Yeah, he had a lot of racing people have a lot of energy, or I don't know the right word, but they put a lot into it. Lots of racers that didn't win much put a lot into it, really a lot of hard work. One of the things that impressed me was, everybody knows about Zippo lighters, and there was people from Bradford come to Stateline to the races. And somebody that worked at Bradford, they, not just a Zippo, but some kind of a big Zippo that, like a table model, I don't know what you call it. It had a base and they gave me a Zippo lighter, and they had the, as you notice, I shake terrible anymore, and I never did write very legibly, but they had my autograph. Somehow they reproduced it in the silver of that lighter, and kids made cards that looked like mine and give them to me. An Indian lady drew a portrait of me and give it to me. I never knew until I seen this movie you guys made about Stateline that this was, the Crowds was published. I never knew. I didn't think any track in the country ever published that because they didn't want people to know.
I'll tell you, if I came back into the Post Journal and wrote a story without telling Frank Hyde how many people were in the crowd, that would be put back to me, and that was a part of the information that he demanded to have.
Did you actually have the information, or did you make it up?
Well, as I say,
I mean,
I counted the line at the Ladies' John and multiplied by 17.
Yeah, you better get up here in this chair.
Learned a lot from Squirt just following him.
Squirt Johns, you know, he was the man to beat.
Squirt, you heard Dave Turner and Jim Scott talk about you always having traction up off the corner. What did you do mechanically to your chassis so that you always had that traction?
I run quite a bit of a wedge, weight, cross weight. But one of the things that everybody run a bigger tire on the right rear than the left rear to try and get the car to turn because of the locked rear ends. I always tried to get those tires as near the same size as I could and still get into the turn. To me, that was a secret of traction, not making the two sides fight each other. Because when you go down the straightaway, if the one tire is bigger than another, it wants to turn the car. So one or the other of the tires is spinning a little bit all the time, even though you really aren't spinning. And my car, the better when I could get it handling with tires almost the same diameter, then I got better traction too.
Thrilled that you're here to be part of this premiere here in the Stateline Speedway region, and we thank all of you, but most important, we thank Squirt Johns for being Squirt Johns. Thank you.
Thank you all.